What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to part 9 of our Pokemon Consonancia walkthrough. In the previous episode, we found the Pokemon daycare. We also changed some of our Pokemon's regional forms at the Pokemon Center. We took on Gym Leader Morty and got some cool gifts and rewards from him. And we also bumped into the professor who told us about Mega Evolution and also about a tower nearby. So in today's episode, we are going to try and find this tower and try and work our way all the way to the top. We've just found Karulina Tower and it looks absolutely awesome. But right off the bat, I've got to say that this episode has been the most fun in the playthrough for me for sure. I've absolutely enjoyed it. With the Karulina Tower, there are multiple floors of the tower, and some of the floors have some tricky and tough puzzles. You need to complete the puzzles in order to make your way to the next floor. And here is our first clue with the statue. As you can see, there's a statue of Dialga and Palkia, and there were 2 words that were in specific colors. So that's our first little clue. We make our way to the second floor where we find a whole bunch of different colored levers. I believe there are 6 in total, so I'm not sure what they do yet. You're going to have to try and explore and see what the goal is. As you can see, there is a steel door blocking the path to the next floor. And if you go and click on the steel door, it will give you another little clue. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to go back and just put all the switches to how they were when we started. So leave everything unchanged, and then we'll read the clue. And I think I've figured it out because in the bottom statue, there were 2 words that were in color. I think it was time and space, and the words were in blue and pink. And there are blue and pink levers, so we are going to just turn those 2. And yes, it's opened the door, so that was a nice, easy little start. The puzzles definitely do seem to get a bit more tricky, but like I said, I absolutely love puzzles and they're so much fun. We have now arrived at the next puzzle, so we've gone and read the little clue at the metal door, and you have to try and step on every single one of these ice patches. You can't step on them more than once, otherwise you will lose. So you've got to try and actually step on every single ice piece at least once, but you are able to step on the outside of the ice patches. So that is the big help for this puzzle. But with this puzzle, you want to try and start in the center and then slowly work your way out. You can leave the absolute outer edge till the very end, but anything else you want to try and step on just once. So it looks like we've pretty much completed it. The outer edge is really simple because you can step out. And we've done it. We've completed the puzzle, and now we can work our way up another floor and to the 3rd puzzle. So I'm really excited. Here between the floors, we have just found Wickstrom, who gave us the 2 different armor types. So those 2 armor items are actually for Charcadet. You can evolve Charcadet in its 2 different forms using those 2 items, so that's pretty cool. But now we've arrived at the 3rd puzzle, and as you can see, there are a whole bunch of statues on this floor, and if you go and interact with the statue, it gives you a bit of information like their typing and their stats. And there's also a book near the statues which also gives you a clue on which direction the statues should face. So what you've got to do is go and read all the stats about the Pokemon on the statues, and then you've got to try and read all the books and change the direction for those statues. So that's going to be pretty tricky, but I am going to show you exactly how to do that. So just follow along. The clues are pretty easy. I think there was just 1 or 2 that were quite tricky. I left the most difficult one toward the end. But you do want to first just explore and see what Pokemon are here and go and read all their stats, and then start with the easiest clues first. The first clue was for Flygon to face the weakest dragon-type Pokemon, which we did. It was Haxorus. The second clue was that Hydreigon and Dragonite couldn't face each other. So we've got to make them not look at each other. We've faced them in different directions. The Garchomp clue is a little bit tricky. It says Garchomp is facing another Pokemon that it shares something with. So I'm not 100% sure on that because it's only got the Flygon up north of it unless it faces a Pokemon through the walls or something. So we'll come back to that. But another clue is that Goodra is going to face a Pokemon that is also a pure dragon type. So Haxorus is also a pure dragon type. Dragapult is dragon and ghost. So we're changing Goodra to face Haxorus. We have just read another clue saying that the central door is guarded by an Axe-Jaw Pokemon. So I'm thinking that Pokemon has got to face the door. And for an Axe-Jaw Pokemon, I'm guessing that's Haxorus. But let's see what other clues we have. Here's a clue about Dragapult. It says Dragapult wants to launch a Phantom Force attack through the shadows at another dragon type. So we've only got 2 dragon types that it can face. But the clue through the shadows, I'm thinking it means through the wall. So we're going to change Dragapult to actually face Garchomp through the wall. We're going to try the exit, but there's still more pieces missing. So let's see what other clues there are. We still need that Axe-Jaw clue. And here we've just read a clue about Hydreigon. It says Hydreigon isn't very friendly and doesn't want to face any other dragon. So I think it's fine where it is. It's facing the wall. We have just changed Haxorus to face up, facing the door for the Axe-Jaw one, and we have made Garchomp also face up to Flygon. So let's go and try that, and yes, it's worked. That puzzle was quite tricky, but we did work through it in the end. Now we can make our way to the next floor, and on this floor I was a bit confused on what to do or what the puzzle was, but the more I explored, I caught on. So for this floor, you've got to try and find hidden items. Ultimately, you need to put a sword on the table, but in order to get the sword, you've got to get 6 little items, and then you will use those items to form the sword to put on the table. So you've got to try and find a hidden item on each little section, like each corner of the building. To make it easy, you kind of want to divide the area into 6 little rooms, like top right, middle right, bottom right, top left, middle left, bottom left. So in the middle left, you'll find your first little crystal shard, and it's hidden here in the mirror. So come and collect that. Now that we have picked up that, you can forget about that room. In the top right, you want to come and explore, and you'll actually find the crystal here in the fireplace. The next crystal shard is found in the table right at the bottom in the middle of the table. The next shard you will find in the top left, which is in the bookcase. And then the final crystal can be found in the right middle between these 2 candles on this little desk. So once you've picked up all of those crystal pieces, you can come to the fireplace and forge the sword and put the sword on the table, and then you will be able to unlock the door and arrive on the next floor. That was a fun little treasure hunt for sure. But now on the next floor, I believe this is the final puzzle. And for this puzzle, you've got 2 rooms that look pretty much identical. There are just a few things that are out of place. So you actually have to spot the difference. You know that game, Spot the Differences. So that's what you have to do here. You have to spot the differences between the 2 rooms and then move some of the items around so that they look exactly the same. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go and explore these 2 rooms in the top left. Here's the first room, and the other room is on the right. They've kind of mirrored the rooms. So the first thing I notice is on the table there is a flower and a candle on the one. There's no flowers on the other. There's also books on the bookshelf. The other doesn't have books. So we have picked up the flowers from the one room, and we have picked up the books. We're going to try and place those flowers on the second table. I also noticed a candle holder, so we've collected the candle holder. What we're going to do now is place those flowers on this table that is missing and place the candles here next to the bed. And now both of the rooms should be the same. We haven't placed the books anywhere, so both of them are empty. You just had to move the flower and the candles. And now we have made our way to the top of the tower. At this point, I do recommend that you save your game because you have worked your way through all these puzzles to the top. We've also picked up a King's Rock item. And now, before we continue on, we are going to evolve our Graveler. And in order to do that, you've got to use a linking cord item on it. We're going to try and get our team ready because there's a really tough battle ahead. So as you can see, we've got our new golem, and it looks absolutely epic. It is a rock and electric type. But now we're going to actually come and face Korrina, and she's got a Mega Evolution Pokemon. So that's what I'm saying, that this battle is going to be crazy tough. She's got a Lucario, which is going to Mega Evolve. And that Mega Lucario is an absolute beast. It can pretty much one-shot everything. So let's try and see if we can win this battle against Korrina. Our Eevee got one-shotted, but next we've sent out Rillaboom. Luckily, Rillaboom did get an attack or two in, so we did cause a bit of damage to Mega Lucario. And we've sent out Delphox, which luckily finished off Mega Lucario, who is definitely the toughest Pokemon in this battle. If you can work your way past Mega Lucario, you pretty much have won the battle. And the final Pokemon that Korrina sends out is Hawlucha, which is probably the second toughest because it does heal up quite often. As soon as you weaken Hawlucha, it will use Roost to recover its HP. So I do recommend that you try and knock out Mega Lucario with 3 Pokemon or less. And then you're going to need at least 2 or 3 Pokemon for Hawlucha. Our Pokemon attacks are not very effective against Hawlucha, so maybe you have better Pokemon typings. We did send out Samurott, who got really close to knocking out Hawlucha, but eventually we got the W. It did take a bit of time, but it was a tough battle. I definitely lost the first 2 times, and then I decided that we should evolve our Graveler. And now we've actually unlocked Mega Evolution, so that's really good news. That will give our team a boost when we can Mega Evolve one of our Pokemon. We also get gifted a whole bunch of TMs and things. But that's it for the tower. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing the puzzles. Like I said, it's the funnest episode that I've played through yet in Pokemon Consonancia. But now that everything's done, we can actually fly out of here. We can use our Poke Rider and go back to the Pokemon Center. Apparently, we may have unlocked some new things that we can discover there too. So we can go and explore that in the next episode. So now that we have completed everything, we're going to fly back to Glitty Town. And we're going to continue our story in the next one. We're just going to heal up our team and save. And then in the next episode, we'll try and make our way to the next town and hopefully take on another gym leader.